Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, and I'm very happy to have a couple of people here who know a little bit about touring Utah. It's Utah Luxury Tours. Brian Murphy, the president's here. Lucas Sigmund, who is the chief operating officer as well and director of tours and operations. Welcome, both of you, to the show. It's
Thank you
great to have you both
great
here.
To be here.
Good to see you again.
Good morning.
It's been a little while. We've been, I think, about a year since we had you here last. But time to talk about the fact that we are in tourist season, so people are coming into Utah and they come here to Park City and they realize suddenly that some of the things that they want to see besides on mountain are going to be a little further away.
Right.
And that's when they call you guys and figure out how to get there. So tell me a little bit, give us a little background on Utah Luxury Tours.
Well, at Utah Luxury Tours, we specialize in tours of the national parks, and it started off with the 5 national parks in Utah, the Mighty Five.
Mighty Five.
But remember, a couple years before they started promoting the Mighty Five, Lucas had come up with the idea of calling it the Big Five. So it was quite a nice...
It's almost your deal,
almost my baby.
Yeah, you should open the website for that. You might have owned it.
I like the Mighty Five better.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And so what we do is we cater to a distinguished traveler, probably seen the world, and now they want to see our national parks. We specialize by trying to take the rustic and rugged and hurried fashion of seeing the parks. So it's specialized and is focused on what our clients want to see, as opposed to booking up for a group tour that takes you to all kinds of places that you may not be interested in.
Yeah, and letting them decide that is a big part of this, right? Also, another part of that too is just the idea that, and I always envision it when I think about your company. Maybe it's a husband and wife and perhaps some kids, but more than likely it may not. And they call you up and say, we want to go and check out Moab, and you say, sure, when do you want to go? Pick them up and literally on their schedule, take them there, show them what they want to see, and when they're ready to come back, they come back. Is that about right?
I think it changed a little bit actually. We talked about it this morning that, by doing it for 4 or 5 years, we have these complete packages. They are still customizable, but it's we feel like we know what we are offering. We have the package.
You know better than they do almost.
We know. Yeah. Oh yeah, they and we don't want them to think. We don't want them to make the decisions. We'll ask them, hey, do you guys like it? Do you want to do more of this, more of that? But the initial proposal 4 or 5 years ago was, tell us what you want to do, we'll put it together. Now it's like, here's what I'm presenting to you guys. If everything looks good, let's just take it as it is.
Right.
We have the hotels figured out, we got the excursions figured out. I feel like, we got the reviews from the guides, from the clients, we know what we are offering, and our clients like it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, that's a big part of it. First, you've got people who may not understand the distance and time and things like that, but you guys do.
And they're busy doing their daily life, so we make the decisions for them. We know where we want to take them for lunch or dinner and what excursions to put them on. So I think it's one thing that changed since the beginning, that we can still customize it if the client is well informed and they know, hey, we really want to see this hike. But I think our initial approach right now is like, here's the package, and let's see if you like it or not.
How many guests are you typically taking on a tour?
I would say the average is between 3 and 5 people. It's typically 2 retired couples, or mom and dad and a couple of kids. So the perfect group that fits in a nice, SUV, and off you go.
What is your favorite place personally to go to? Where do you like to go?
Gosh, there's so
hard to pick,
so many. Sure. A special place in my heart is Yellowstone, because I basically moved to the country because of working in Yellowstone 10 years ago, 2006.
Wow.
I was in college and I came for the summer. I spent the summer working at Old Faithful Inn, and I just love the place. I love the people, I love the nature. So 2 years later, 2008, I was fortunate enough to land a job here in Park City at Deer Valley, and I met Brian, and so Yellowstone will always have. It literally changed my life, right?
Yeah.
I moved from the Czech Republic out here, and I live here, and this is my home. So Yellowstone it is.
What else is unique about Yellowstone for our company is that when we started, it was just the Mighty Five in Utah.
Yeah.
But now, I would say 25% of our tours include Yellowstone and the Grand Teton.
And people are asking Glacier and Mount Rushmore. I mean, we are already brainstorming, like, we got to go bigger. I mean, people are telling us, hey, do you go to Yosemite? Do you go to Sequoia? And we're like, not yet, but we will. So it's much bigger than Mighty Five.
That's amazing.
And at that time, a couple years ago, it was 5 parks, and typically a tour might be up to 7 days.
Yeah.
Now we have the Great 8 national parks.
Really?
With Grand Canyon,
up to 8, 10, and 15-day tours.
So we had 15-day tours last year.
Wow. You get to know your clientele pretty well on an 8-day tour.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And they, they end up inviting their guides over. I mean, we had a couple from Australia, and they said, "Hey, Kevin, come on over anytime you want." Or we have clients from New York that it's kind of like the Deer Valley connection, right? I still work at Deer Valley part-time, and you become friends with your clients. I mean, we invited my Deer Valley clients to our wedding, right? Just this last year. I mean, you become friends with them, and that's exactly what's happening with our guides.
That is tremendous.
So
you gotta love when you're that connected to people, and I'm sure that means there's a level of trust, and there's a level of excitement when they know they're going to people that they know to places, and certainly with your experience at Yellowstone, it's a great place. I imagine that's probably the best tour you give as well. I mean,
yeah,
it's your favorite, it's probably the best one
and
you do.
people can tell, how excited I am, and it kind of tie it into the life story. So it's cool. I enjoy it very much.
You like it summer or winter up there more?
You know what? I'm going to go there for the first time in winter this January.
Is that right?
So I've been there a lot of times in summer, but I'm very excited to go in winter.
A lot different in the winter up there, and it's certainly a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I think the view, the look of it in winter is pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot less people. I'm excited about it.
Something you mentioned earlier about the relationship between the guide and the guest, how they bond during that period of time, is something I call wearability, where the guide can be with the guest and the guest can be with that guide for 5, 7, or 10 days, because we don't change guides during the tour. And so that guide needs to know when to talk, what to talk about, and you're in the vehicle with someone for 7 hours a day perhaps. That's different than being on a bus where the guide is sitting up on the front of the bus and you're hanging out in the back of the bus. You don't really get to know that guide.
And you kind of have to engage in conversation. You have to know what things to talk about and what political things to leave out, and all of that. There's certainly a lot of everything there, isn't there?
Yeah. And what I say is that our guides know more than typical guides because we have to spend so much time with our guests, and it requires you have a lot of tools in the toolbox to
talk about the lodging side of it, because I'm sure for a lot of people that's the trepidation, is like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go with this tour group and they're going to take me to other hotels other than this nice place I'm staying at in Deer Valley or in Park City. Where when you talk about that, how do you vet these out? How do you figure out where to take people?
I think that's kind of the cool part of our company, that as soon as they call and they say we'd like to go on a tour, we ask them, okay, we have several options for you guys, and basically it comes down to the budget, right?
Yeah.
We say we can do nice hotel, $250 a night, or if you're truly the 4 or 5 star clients that want the best of the best, the budgets can literally vary from $1,000 for 4 nights to $10,000, right? So we use resorts such as Amangani, Amangiri, like the true 5-star best of the best. Some clients say, I don't really see the value, or I don't want to go as high, but I still want to have something nice like 4-star Sorrel River. So we give them the choice. We say, this is the price for our tour, and let me check on the availability.
I was going to ask you, how do you get that availability? These are hotels that are often sold out for a big part of the year.
They are, but we kind of figure out a way when we need just 2 rooms. It's a lot easier to look for the last minute cancellations, and we tell the clients we have the resources. We figured out, some managers of the hotel saying, hey, I just need these 2 rooms for these 2 nights, and more often than not, it works out, right?
It's about relationships.
It's about relationships, and we were saying, hey, if you have a cancellation, let us know. And of course, there's popular places like Old Faithful Inn that are hard to get to. But I guess our huge advantage is that we don't need 30 rooms like you would need on a bus. We need 2.
Right.
And that makes it flexible, and the client understand. If I can get them 4 hotels out of 5 they want, and I said, hey, you only booked 6 weeks in advance, I'll do my best, and I'll give you 4 out of 5, that's pretty good.
I guess
I just want to real quick about hotels.
Yeah.
Out of well over 100 tours we did last year, we used 90 different hotels.
Really?
So talk about the breadth and scope of being able to figure out which hotels are the best ones for these clients based on their budget.
Well, yeah.
We have quite a lot to choose from. And the same thing with outfitters. A few years ago when we first met, we were using about 6 or 7 outfitters, excursion companies. We're up to 30 now.
Oh
so
my.
each year,
Hummers, Antelope Canyon tours, and all those all those attractions that we can put our clients on to increase the value of the tour.
Well, finally, I mean, the truth of it is, as you guys have grown, you've helped some of those organizations grow as well, which is terrific for everybody. I mean, we have to keep reminding ourselves this is all about tourism in Utah. That's where the dollar, those mighty 5 bring in a mighty number of dollars, and without the tour groups, it doesn't happen. So. Yep. Good job. It's neat to see you guys growing so much. That's got to be, for you, you got to be so proud.
It's very, very satisfying to have started a business in a down economy and continue to hire more people every year. At first, it was just Lucas and I doing tours for one day or half a day. Now we have 13 people on staff, and there are some days we may have 6 tours going on in Zion or Bryce, or up in Yellowstone and Grand Teton, and we have our own tour guides and groups crisscrossing each other and seeing each other at hotels or restaurants and parking lots. Hey, there's another one of our groups. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting.
Wow.
It's
great growth. Utah Luxury Tours. It's just terrific to see what you guys are up to. If people want more information on booking, they've got some folks coming into town, or they're watching from further afield and planning themselves, where do they go? Our website, UtahLuxuryTours.com. That's easy. Yep. And we have a direct phone number. We don't use the 800-888 system. Right. And anytime someone calls, we try to answer the phone on the first ring. So you don't have to go through a telephone operator system to try to find the reservation department. Yeah, exactly. More often than not, Lucas will answer the phone. If not, I'll be there. And it's 435-940-4212. All right. Guys, I want to thank you so very much for being here, as always. Thank you. Neat to see you again. Thank you so much, Joe. Congratulations on the continued success. Thank you. That's what Utah Luxury Tours is aiming for, continued success and getting people to all of the great locations, both here in Utah and further afield. There's lots to see, and Utah Luxury Tours making sure that people get that chance to see it when they're here. A lot more coming up here on the Mountain Morning Show as we wrap up this hour right after this.